Bitcoin is absolutely flying right now, and people are beginning to get incredibly ecstatic about the potential for it to continue to go up over the next few months. But how high can Bitcoin actually go? Well, in today's video, we're going to discuss the possibility that perhaps Bitcoin flies to $1 million per coin. Let's dive in. Bitcoin gained 1,900% in Trump's first term. Will Bitcoin price hit $1 million this time? Bitcoin soared by over 1,900% during Donald Trump's first term as United States president between November 2016 and November 2020. This occurred despite his critical stance on the cryptocurrency at the time, highlighted by his well-known 2019 tweets labeling Bitcoin as quote-unquote highly volatile and claiming its value was quote-unquote based on thin air. However, Trump's second term as the U.S. president looks poised to be more favorable towards the cryptocurrency industry, given his pledge to make the U.S. a quote-unquote Bitcoin superpower and implement deregulation to foster the crypto industry. Trump's election win, called on November 6th, has already helped to push Bitcoin to a new record high of around $76,400, with top analysts like TYMIO Yield founder George Verbitsky predicting Bitcoin price to cross $100,000 in the coming months. Let's stop here. I was watching the election results, and I was also watching the market simultaneously. When me and my buddy saw Bitcoin flying like it was, earlier in the day I was trading it, and I actually was making some moves to the short side. But it started to go, and it started to go up really quick. And as the election results came in and the price kept going up, me and my buddy were saying, there's no way he doesn't win. Because if there's one thing Trump has made clear, he is now pro-cryptocurrency. Why is he pro-crypto? Good question. Maybe he doesn't even know. He probably doesn't care that much, though he might. Again, we don't necessarily know what's going on in his brain. I'd say likely he is pro-crypto, or at least he was pro-crypto during this campaign run, because he knows that a large number of people in his base, or a growing number of people, are pro-crypto. Because crypto, at least how it's been sold, Bitcoin in particular, is freedom, transferability, portability. You own your money. You determine what it gets spent on. It's anti-government, anti-establishment, and it goes along with the drain the swamp thing. But in any case, people are going to front-run this, and they're going to push this up in the short term, I believe. $100,000, it's possible. But in what time frame? We don't necessarily know. I'd say over the next few months, we're in November now, going into December, typically good months for cryptocurrency, for risk assets. You're going to see the price continue to go up. You might have a couple pullbacks here and there, but hitting $100,000 before the end of the year, I think on euphoria alone, it could happen. Does that hold? Only time will tell. Can Bitcoin price cost $1 million by 2028? A 1,900% increase from today's Bitcoin price would see BTC valued at over $1.5 million per coin. This would make Bitcoin a $28.5 trillion asset class, almost 8 times bigger than NVIDIA, the world's largest company by market cap, and 1.6 times larger than gold's market capitalization. That would make Peter Schiff very uncomfortable. It would make him shake in his boots. It would probably piss him off to no end. But that is an absolutely daunting figure. However, I've seen guys like Raoul Pal call for Bitcoin to be a $100 trillion market cap, or rather crypto. I forget if he said Bitcoin or crypto in particular, but if he was talking about Bitcoin, that means we're talking about $15, $20, $25 million per coin in the future, which is just nutty. The question I have here, though, is let's say Bitcoin does reach $1.5 million per coin. What would the value of the US dollar be in that environment? How much does $1 buy you in an environment where Bitcoin is priced at $1.5 million per coin? I want you to think about that. Obviously, $1 million per Bitcoin is a lofty target, but for years, the price has been predicted by well-known analysts across the traditional finance and cryptocurrency landscape. Cathie Wood, CEO of ARK Invest, previously forecasted that the price of Bitcoin will cross $1 million by 2030, noting that major investment banks such as Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, and Bank of America will likely enter the Bitcoin space. Henry Arslanian, co-founder of Dubai-based 9 Blocks Capital Management, iterated a similar outlook in a November 6th X post, noting that Trump's win will enable quote-unquote further entry of institutional players into the U.S. crypto industry, ranging from asset managers to family offices. With Trump getting in office, this is absolutely going to happen. He is going to deregulate it because I simply think he sees the self-interest side of this. Bitcoin and crypto by and large is a money-making machine. Whether you're owning it as an investor, whether you're trading it, whether you're a BlackRock, a capital management firm, whatever it is, you're taking transaction fees, you're making markets, whatever, there is so much money to be made in the cryptocurrency industry moving forward that purely based on self-interest and the self-interest of the economy itself, getting more money in circulation, getting more people active and participating, creating jobs, creating opportunities, and getting the risk markets to be super liquid and super active, it's going to happen, more than likely. That's my opinion, not gospel. Who knows? Post-election Bitcoin price targets range from $100,000 to $250,000. Most analysts have predicted sharp gains in the Bitcoin market after Trump's election victory. According to crypto research firm 10x Research, BTC price can rise to $100,000 by January 2025. That's what I was just saying. Probably see a huge euphoric spike after the Trump win, and you're getting into the months where Bitcoin, cryptocurrency by and large, tends to do really well. So you could see a huge blow off top here. Noting that when Bitcoin sets a new 6-month high for the first time in 6 months, like it did recently, typically you see a median return of 40% over the next 3 months. So if we saw a 40% return here, that means you'd get, nearly $37,000 in nominal gains, $30,000 in nominal gains. You'd be over $100,000. You'd be at about $105,000, $106,000 per coin. So that could work. Independent market analyst Mags, meanwhile, said Bitcoin will approach $250,000 in the next 12 months, citing its previous price pumps post-U.S. elections. In 2016, Bitcoin pumped by 2,747% post-election. In 2020, it pumped by 360%. With a pro-Bitcoin president, even a 240% pump would mean $250,000 per Bitcoin. Now, of course, this is not investing advice or recommendations, etc. But if you look at this chart, every time a president has gotten elected over the past decade, Bitcoin flies. And in this case, I don't think it's going to be anything different. How much it flies? Are we going to see 240%? Are we going to see 180%, 100%? Who really knows? But the trend is in motion, especially with young people and with people who are desperate. They're looking at the economy and they're saying, what am I going to do investing in a 401k or a Roth IRA? What am I going to do investing in a house, trying to get equity appreciation so that one day I can retire so that I have a place to live? I can't do that. The time frame for investing has been shortened down to days and weeks and months. We're not talking about years anymore. We're certainly not talking about decades because the youth simply do not think in those terms, and they want things to be gamified. They want bigger gains. They want bigger returns. Bitcoin provides that. You're going to see people enter it, especially if they can buy ETFs provided by a lot of these institutional players like BlackRock, etc. So the price is probably going to fly because there's just so much baked into the cake for it to continue to go up. There are other questions to ask, though, right? What is the price of the U.S. dollar? What is the value of the U.S. dollar in an environment where Bitcoin is flying to this degree? Because if you look at the history of Bitcoin and the price appreciation, it hasn't been technological adoption. It hasn't necessarily been anything about a revolution in the finance space. A lot of it has simply been currency debasement, as in the dollar is getting weaker, Bitcoin goes up. And you see this with liquidity as well. The more liquidity that's pumped into the markets, the more it chases risk assets. Because if you're giving free money, if you're giving more money to big players, they already have money. So you might as well chase high-risk returns. You see this with the Japanese banks. They're taking on debt instruments that are super risky because they need to get yield. They're chasing for yield. So many people in the economy are chasing for yield too because they have their 401k, they have their Roth, but even at a 35% year-over-year gain, your Roth IRA invested in a NASDAQ fund or a Dow Jones fund, it's not keeping up with inflation. And if it is, it's just barely doing so. So Bitcoin is primed to pump. Does it hit $1 million? We'll have to see. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. But this is going to be very interesting. And I am certainly going to be following the price movements because, my oh my, the more and more I look at Bitcoin, it may very well be that once-in-a-generation opportunity, that once-in-a-millennia opportunity to make money out of nothing. And that sounds too good to be true, but maybe it isn't in this case. We'll have to see. But if you gain value to this, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. Much love. Peace. This is the New Da Vinci. Have a blessed day.